Yeah. I love the smell of French pastries in the morning. Woo! UFC Paris, Casey! Are you excited? Casey, tell me you're as excited as I am. Fist fights are happening and the sun is still up. It's going to be a damn good time. Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm Jed Meshew, MMAfighting.com. Terrific website, and it's fight day. UFC Paris is set to go down in 30 minutes. You can check the timer. It's right down there. And you know what this is. It's the People's Pre-Fight Show. Usually Mike Heck is in this chair. Mike is taking a well-deserved vacation this weekend, so you're stuck with me. I'm sorry for you. But you're not just stuck with me because you got the baddest stash in the game. Mr. 3024 himself. No sleeves, no mercy. Casey Leydon is here with me. Casey. Oh, he's got sleeves. It must be chilly in the morning over in California.
It's 8:30 in the morning. I work in mixed martial arts. There's no reason to be up this early in the morning unless it's for a wonderful fight night in beautiful Paris. But look, I'm celebrating. I have a fresh pistachio croissant. Look at that. That's
a girthy croissant.
Oh, it's look at this.
Sizable.
Look at this monster. And I can't eat it till after the show because I respect you too much. I'm here for you.
Look, take some nibbles. You know when you put the camera on me, you can.
Frogs Bakery, French Bakery.
5-star frogs.
French,
to be clear,
yes.
5-star frogs. And it's frogs, so you know it's French. It means you know it's good. But you know why we're here, ladies and gentlemen. This is your show. Me and Casey, we're here along for the ride because in now 27-ish minutes, UFC Paris will go down from the Accor Arena in Paris, France. Headlined by Renato Moicano taking on Benoit Denis, and also featuring a top 10 middleweight matchup between Nasruddin Imavov, Brendan Allen, and then 12 other fights. 14 fights is a lot, Casey, but as you can see behind me, this is a one Michelin star card, both because the top 2 fights are exceptional, a couple of other good ones, and mostly, Casey, it's so early. I love this. There's a very real chance that we get we are getting midday MMA. You're getting morning MMA, which is the best. But we may get to have a wonderful day of fights and then still have a wonderful Saturday evening to ourselves to do whatever we may do. So I am very excited, but y'all know what we do now. It's time for questions. Pop them in. Super chats get priority. And we're basically just going to shoot the crap for the next 30 or so minutes until the fight card starts. And then we can stop watching My Ugly Mug and start watching. Who's the opening fight? Let me look at the card. Balaji Oki, Chris Duncan is our opening fight. So in about 26 minutes, the darkness. Oh, man. The darkness is coming for me.
Not yet.
All right.
Not yet.
Well, soon enough. We'll find out. Also think I might be getting sick, Casey. So let's hope that stays away. Because I woke up not feeling great today, and today it's fine for today. Like it won't be bad, but really would like this to be managed better. So I've been mainlining orange juice. Still got some here.
Ooh.
Let's hop into the questions.
Yep, everyone's getting sick. Get your shots, people.
Well, it's just that time of year. I get a cold every year when the weather changes without fail.
Yeah, I'm getting my my shots next week. My updates.
I had my flu shot, so I'm covered.
All right. First super chat. I don't know what this is about.
Mason Bickner. Any comment on the Brendan Allen blood test post? So you don't know anything about this, Casey.
Nope.
Terrific. We can come at you with fresh eyes. I won't pretend that I am super. I just kind of saw it in passing and then opted to not dive into it because as much, but let me confirm before I totally speak out of my ass. But Brendan Allen, basically, I think it was on Instagram. Some sort of social media post came out afterwards and yesterday and said that the French commissions have treated him unfairly, and he may have also included Moicano and maybe some other non-French fighters, saying that after weigh-in, instead of getting time to recover, as you normally would, replenish whatever, they came and did urine and blood tests of him, but they did not do that for the French fighters there, essentially claiming favoritism and trying to tip the scales in the favor of the hometown fighters. Uh, what are your thoughts on that, Casey? How does that make you feel?
Uh, well, I thought UFC. I know there's commission testing, and then the UFC also does its own testing, right? So it's the UFC not. Did he claim that the UFC isn't doing the proper testing? Also, is he? Is
No,
he?
I believe he is blaming the French Commission on this one, not the UFC, because
But the
I think
UFC
he is
still does their own
blaming.
testing, right?
Yeah, they have their outside thing, but that
So what's the
is
issue?
the timing is the issue. He is saying is that instead of getting to recover, after draining himself to make weight, he then had to give blood and urine, which further depleted him. I suppose. You know,
Well, I'm gonna
I
change. I'm
I'm
gonna
not
change my
hundred
pick
percent
now. I'm
here.
gonna change. I'm gonna change my pick. Everything's
That
different now. Yeah, I thought
this
I
is the
had Brendan
difference.
Allen easy, but now he's two
He
syringes light on blood. So I guess Moicano has got this now. I'm not sure.
I I
I
mean,
mean, I
well,
mean, w- I mean,
I mean, I don't think Brendan Allen will affect the Moicano fight in any way,
yeah.
as they're not facing. So I pulled up the quote here.
Oh,
This is from Sports.
wait, sorry, you mentioned Brendan Allen earlier. That it was like
Yeah,
Brendan Allen didn't get a. I'm sorry. It's very early.
Moicano. So I
Moicano
believe
didn't
he
get
was
a.
saying that. He was saying that the non-French fighters had this.
Oh.
So Moicano also, but I've got the quote here. This is from Sportskeeda. Just so everyone knows, France has the most corrupt way of dealing with fighters ever in the whole world.
Oh, the
Had
whole world.
effing over 40 fights fought outside the country, United States, in the country, different states, that state made weight, no problem. And they're going to tell me I have to give blood or urine. First, they said urine, that I have to give urine right off the scale, so dehydrated, just
That
just
is
waited
weird.
3 hours,
That is just
finally
weird.
have to
Yeah.
pee. Then they tell me I got to give blood on top of that. I do the urine test. They say they're going to do blood. They do blood. They say they don't get enough. They try to tell me they need more. I say, you're not going to stick me again. No main top guy of France had to do this stuff. Stuff is my choice of word there. So just me and Renato Moicano had to do this. The two most important
Oh,
fights in the card, and the two Frenchmen didn't have to do anything. They just got to their room. So he's basically claiming that the French Commission is corruptly asking him for blood and urine and being onerous post weight cut, while allowing Nasruddin Imavov and Benoit Saint Denis to engage in their normal post weigh in rituals.
all right. Well, nothing really to say until we get the other side of the story. So right now, Brendan Allen's making accusations. Has Moicano made the same accusation,
Not that I have seen, and
or
that
any
to me
any
that
other fighters
I
non?
I haven't seen any of that. And so this popped a little like late-ish last night. I started to see this kind of come up first, and I ultimately was like, I don't have the appropriate context to kind of check into this on the other side of things. But as best I can tell, this is a one-sided claim, and so I can't, in the absence of substantiating it in any way, we have to take it at the, hey, he said it, and you have a lot of grains of salt with it. And I am skeptical of corruption broadly.
Yeah.
So, uh, my best get, like, I ascribe to the theory that never blame for malice what can more easily be blamed on incompetence. And not even saying that something incompetent happened, because we truly only have one side of a story here. But I give this no credence until there's more substance behind it.
Yeah, that's about it. I agree with you. Thank you, Mason, and everyone else for updating me on the new blood testing situation. So
It was very exciting.
yeah, taking a urine sample right after you weigh in. Wait, so I'm assuming they let him rehydrate and then they took in the urine
So,
sample.
according to
'Cause-
this claim, they asked for it, but he could not provide because obviously he
yeah,
was drained. So he then had to wait several hours to get there. So, and I am assuming they allowed him to rehydrate, though he did not clarify. But um, I am making the assumption that
okay.
he is
Now,
allowed to drink water once he's allowed to drink water whenever there's shit he wants. They can't stop
yeah,
him doing that. So
I don't know how
I
this
assume
French
that he
works.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so he's more upset about the blood than
I think he's mostly upset about taking the time is what it's again. This is interpretation. If
yeah,
he
yeah.
wins, I am extremely confident we will get more of him talking about this in the post fight
Well,
and
actually,
maybe
we
get a
just
little
need to
more
find out from
clarity.
Moicano. Actually, we need to find out from Moicano. That's actually has more information. I feel like
I
it's like
mean,
did
if the same thing happened to Moicano, this starts getting a little more legs, particularly if it didn't happen to Benoit
yeah,
Denis or Nasruddin Imavov. But we also don't know that it didn't happen to those two.
yeah.
But to me, reading it, it sounds like he is mostly upset about the time it took and that 3 hours because he had to do this, and he could no longer go do whatever. He had to wait around until he could again provide a urine sample, and they wanted to take multiple samples of blood. Unclear.
Yeah, well, unclear. But
It's also very possible that he was just hangry because he hasn't eaten proper food in a while and made a weight cut and then was being asked to do something that was annoying. So, like, a lot of things could have happened here. We'll wait for more information. I will be fascinated to hear from Moicano if something similar happened to him. Because, if this is true, then this would be wildly corrupt. If like only the non-French fighters had this, like that's on its face corrupt. But that strains my credulity at this point.
all right. Thank you, Mason. All
Thank you,
right.
Mason.
Oh. Okay, we only have 17 minutes to answer this question from
Oh
Caveman
God.
Travels, but here we go.
Thoughts on PFL? I don't need 17 minutes.
There's a card tonight, right? Or there was. Did it already happen? In Europe, right?
Wait, did they might have had a MENA card? Oh, and that is happening. Jesus, I straight up did not know this.
They're going head to head, right?
I had no idea that there's a PFL card that is happening literally at the same time. That should honestly, that's my thought on PFL. Like that should tell you everything. This is my job. I work in this industry, and you may think to yourself, well, that means you suck at your job. Maybe there's some of that, but like I'm not that bad at my job. And I had no idea because they are not that's just a problem. It is a problem when people who literally spend 80 hours a week in this world don't even know a thing that is happening. And I straight up had no clue because the PFL doesn't market European cards basically. It's a separate thing. It's like, oh, it's happening over here. And, main event's got Stevie Ray, who is a fighter of some renown, Robert Whiteford.
Roger
Um,
Huerta's fighting. Roger Huerta's in the co-main event.
I think I remember seeing a quote from Roger Huerta earlier this week, but like basically my thoughts on PFL is I would like them to do better than they do. And I'm pulling for them. I think the sport desperately needs not even a competitor to the UFC because there's just not reasonably one, but
An
it
option for
needs as
fighters.
many. Yeah, it needs as many like viable promotions as it can possibly get, and I need I would like PFL to do that, and I am losing faith in them every day.
Yes. I guess one this those thoughts on PFL. My big thing right now is like I don't understand their tiers because every promotion has tiers as far as like importance of cards, and this kind of seems like they're challengers type of not challengers. Thinking Strikeforce challengers. They're contenders type of card. Um, I mean, I
I
don't.
th- I
Is it,
think
is this
this.
your
I
lowest
think
level
they're
or?
I think
Or
they're all of their international cards. So when they do the MENA cards and they do Europe, in my head at least, those are conceived of like those are the UFC fight night tiers of just like these aren't our main people. These are up and comers. Maybe somewhere between a contender series card and a fight night card based on how their structure goes. Like if you're doing a corollary to the UFC, but I don't know. And like some of it is they could, the more they promote this and it still won't track because it just is what it is. But like I they got to do something, and I thought this was a make or break year for them this year, and they have at times done stuff that's great. I think their upcoming pay per view is as good a card as they can put together, and I'm legitimately somewhat interested in it. the issue is that thing's like 3 weeks out and I'm only somewhat interested. They're just not promoting things in a way that makes me feel they are long-term viable.
Benefit of doubt or devil's advocate, whatever. Are they not promoting it, or are they promoting it and we just don't care still? Like are they sent like for a media company? We post UFC embeddeds. We do that kind of that's promotion from the UFC. Like, is PFL doing things like this, and we're just like, nah, pass. No one cares about it anyway.
PFL this week, I
I'm
believe, put out. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, but what I'm saying is this week PFL put out a teaser for a trailer for the pay-per-view, as opposed to just like it's 3 weeks out. Why do you need a teaser for this trailer? Like, and that this sign like that landed so hard with me because that came like they released their teaser for a trailer for this big fight, which is an insane thing to do in the first place. That came on the same day that the Bivol Better Be of trailer dropped. That like epic
Oh,
5-minute,
yeah.
legitimately like a film trailer.
That's a
Like
short
the
film.
trailer you would see before, like for Gladiator 2 or whatever. This like, and there are some weirdos out there like, this is stupid and silly and they wasted money. And what does this have to do with the fight? It was sick, man.
For the
And
Bibble
it
thing?
by
People were saying that.
there
That's
were
stupid.
legitimately
It's like,
people in my mentions because I was like, this is awesome. I wish more comment did. Like, that's silly. What's this have to do with boxing? Like, that's not. I would have wasted money. And why should this make me care more about the fight? Like, I don't. You're just a broken person inside.
yeah.
Like, I don't.
You do not know how this prize fighting
Yeah.
works. And yeah.
I got to tell you, that's a you issue, not a broad thing. Because if I showed that to literally any of my friends, they'd be like, this looks sick. Like, that's a pretty dope movie. And like, actually, it's a fight. I'd be like, hell yeah, I'll watch that fight. Let's see how these two dudes get after it. It is like, that's what the PFL should be doing for an event, which is by almost every metric, like the most important one they've ever held. Shouldn't be a teaser to that 3 weeks out. It should be a trailer of that magnitude running. And it's also pretty tough because whenever like all of their promotion really is like very layered on top of basically we just got the knockout chaos stuff with Ngannou versus AJ. And so like, and they're playing the same hits. They're not doing anything different. It's like they're two big guys who hit hard. Anything could happen. So and
the UFC does. That's the UFC's game.
Well, the UFC doesn't even do cool trailers anymore, but the UFC doesn't have to. When you are operating from a position of power, you can mail it in. The PFL is not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I look forward to seeing the actual trailer. Is a teaser for a trailer? It wasn't the teaser for the actual countdown show. It was. Are they doing one?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know if they're doing one. They should. They should 100% be putting all their eggs in this basket.
Because they've asked for footage from stuff.
Oh, so. And then that's great, but they need to get that going.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was for. I thought it was a teaser for their show. But
maybe it was that. I didn't realize they were doing a countdown show. It could be that, but like they just. You just have to.
A couple weeks
you have to inundate the world with this fight happening weeks on end. Because it's the only way to break through the noise of everything else. As if, hey, this is coming. Hey, this is coming. Like, you ever notice when like the Oppenheimer and Barbie were coming out, they weren't like, here, the week before, here are movie trailers. It was like, actually 6 months before, you know that this summer, this is coming. And then like for every movie you ever see or every ball game you watch, there's a commercial for here's this summer's blockbuster that you gotta go see the new Star Wars. And that's just it. You have to spend a lot of money on an advertising budget because it's the only way to break through broadly.
Yeah, for like big movies, like they'll spend $50 million for the actual movie, then $50 million just to promote the movie. If you want
promotion budgets are often half the cost of budget. It is thing. And they're saying that this event's going to cost them $20 million. It's going to be more expensive than the Sphere. I wish that money was going into your marketing budget. But we'll see. I'm rooting for PFL. I want them to do well. I'm just now looking at this card. We've got some European tournament action on it. The same thing that, I think Dakota Ditcheva won one of their like European challenger tournaments or whatever they call it to then get into. So, and just looking at, there are actually some people who are decent fighters on here. I'll now tune in. I'll put it on, assuming I have access to it. I don't actually know if it's on DAZN.
I know.
Well, it's on now. It's on at noon, so I'll just have it up on a second screen while we're doing all this.
I am excited about Ryzen tonight, though.
Ryzen, Juan Archuleta missed weight.
Yeah,
can only lose the fight, can't win it.
My pound for pound number 2 female fighter is fighting tonight.
Mm-hmm. So. Ryzen's terrific. I will not be staying up till the ass crack of the morning.
Oh no, you're super late. I'm just regular late, and I'll be
I'm not staying up till 3.
Yeah, I got you.
That's just not happening, man. That's my issue with Ryzen. I have to find videos the day after. Yeah. I'm just like
East Coast that's really pushing it.
Unless it's a UFC pay-per-view where I can go right into it, then sometimes. But nah. No. What else we got, Casey? As we tick on down.
See, we needed 10 minutes for thoughts on PFL. Look at that. All right, here we go.
And I was trying to keep it tidy. Let me pull up the stream so I know when we kick. David Sandine, FYI, no super chats in Acapulco. Question: what does Casey do with all the sleeves he cuts off? What a topical shout out, David. Yeah. And sorry about that, except for you're in Acapulco. So enjoy that. Casey, what do you do with all the sleeves? Do you make wind socks?
No. Actually, they don't cut off. I just simply flex, and they explode
burst
and
off?
They disintegrate. And I give a warning to the bystanders around me. Esther puts on her safety goggles, and so it's
Esther in a welding mask. All right, flex, Casey.
So
now you have your answer.
Thank you, David Sandine. A little inside baseball, but yeah, that's how it works. All right, what we got? Oscar Lara, sorry.
Oscar Lara. Thoughts on GOAT Aldo finally in main card? Did they move him? Let me go take a look at the old UFC 307 lineup then, because that's the only reasonable thing.
Because Aljamain, is that
I assume that is why, because that also news broke yesterday. Both the Diego Lopez is now the official backup fighter, Casey, for the UFC 308 main event between Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway, and that Movsar and Aljo had been rebooked. They were no longer looking for Movsar for an opponent for next weekend, and instead he will fight Aljo at 310. Looking at this now, at least per Tapology, justice has been served, and per Tapology, Jose Aldo is your feature fight now. So I'm glad the justice prevailed.
Because it was on the prelim before the main card?
No, the featured main card fight. So the first fight before the title fights.
Oh, okay. But it's on the pay-per-view. Okay, got you.
Yes, the featured pay-per-view fight. The featured prelim appears to be Marina Rodriguez versus Yasmin Lucindo, though I'm not entirely sure Tapology has this right. It could be. I would personally hope that the UFC would do the right thing in this regard as well, and have Carla Esparza versus Tisha Pennington as your featured prelim. If that's not going to make the main card, she is a former 2-time champion, and this is her
future Hall of Famer, Carla Esparza, future Hall of Famer.
Probably, I think very likely.
I mean,
she was the first ever strawweight champion, even if that was like a little sus, but she did undeniably. Because
Joanna wasn't in part of it, and Claudia weren't.
Because even heading into that, everyone was like, "I'm actually pretty sure the 2 best women in this weight class aren't on top." And so, like, it's not as make weight. Yeah, it's not as suspect as some others have been. Certainly, I would not say it's the worst one, but I personally was happy when she won the belt the second time, because to me that one's undeniable. Sure, the fight was one of the worst fights you'll ever watch, but there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She She actually won the belt from the real champion and didn't win
Yeah.
a vacant title in a reality show. But she's two-time champion, the first ever champion of the division. She probably is a Hall of Famer. Maybe not a first ballot, however you would, quantify that in UFC regards.
Would Rose be a Hall of Famer?
I think Rose is almost certainly a Hall of Famer.
See, that's ridiculous. Carla has to be. She beat her
I
twice
agree.
in championship
I agree that
fights.
Carlos should. I agree. Carlos should be a Hall of Famer.
This is UFC Hall of Fame, so it doesn't mean
Yes.
anything. I got you.
And a lot of it is just the whims of Dana White. But I think she'll get in. I think she will be a Hall of Famer ultimately. And this is the retirement fight of a former two-time champion. Like, it should be better than being in the middle of the prelims. And so I'm hopeful, because it's not like having freaking Marina Rodriguez, Yasmin Lucindo, which is what Tapology has listed, though certainly not set, is like, that's gotta be the lead into the pay-per-view. So we'll see how that lineup ends up shaking out. Let me see if the UFC.
I would rather Auto been the featured the main, what do you call it? The main ESPN fight.
The main prelim currently is Wonder Boy versus Buckley, and that actually makes a lot of sense, and I think they will in fact do that.
And usually for those fights, they've done lots of video packages already built.
Yeah,
and they don't move those to the main card.
Yeah.
All right.
I assume
cool.
Wonder Boy Buckley seems very likely to be that, and that's, again, I'd like Esparza to get a little more shine than retiring just sort of buried in the middle of the prelims, but
it's UFC. That's what
it is what it is.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Oscar. A few more super chats.
Killers Jr. Buongiorno, Jed. If I'm assuming that is not a language that I'm unclear of, that actually spells buongiorno that way, but thank you nonetheless.
Yeah.
Good morning.
That's a super chat, so that's how you say it. That's how you spell it.
Hey, good morning. I mean, phonetically, we got there. Do you think, as from Last Stand, do you think this will be a winning night for the French fighters or a losing one? Well, I mean, let's take a look at the card very quickly here, Casey. In general, usually it's a winning night. I am personally, we'll get to it in a moment, but I'm personally picking Benoit Saint-Denis to get the win, though I think that fight will be very, very competitive. I am not picking Nasruddin Imavov or William Gomi or Kevin Jousset. So that's actually a really bad start from the top down for the French fighters for me. Morgan Charrier probably gets it done. Ziam coin flip. Omar Sy gets it done. I think looking at this, the prelim fighters all seem have a really good chance to get their wins. As you start climbing the card, the fights get a lot more competitive, and I'm a lot less certain. I don't think we'll have whatever was 297 when they went back to Canada, and all the Canadian fighters lost, and AK had a terrible time. I don't think we're in store for one of those, but I don't think a clean sweep is on the cards either.
No. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm going by the top 5 fights. I think they'll get 2 of the top 5 wins.
But are you factoring in that the French Commission has tipped the scales? Because if you're not factoring in all the skullduggery that's going on with their treacherous acts, then maybe that number goes 4-1 for the French.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Imavov Allen was a close fight till I read a super chat, and now it's Imavov all the way. He's full of blood and water. And
he's got all urine. Of his blood and water.
It's all the urine and blood.
He's got all the urine.
Imavov can't lose.
All the urine and all the blood is inside of him. Let's see if the broadcast has started for this bad boy yet. Let me pull this up.
One more super chat from Dave Sandine before we jump to the other free questions.
For the others, we love the others. Y'all looking for anyone to join your rankings panel? My friend Austin really wants to join. Love the ranking show more than most things. We're not. We jealously guard the secrets of the rankings panel and our process, which is mostly internal bickering. So I think we may be expanding it here a little bit. As more, I mean, we will be as more people start joining the team in the coming months, but I straight don't even know how you would apply to work for us, but tell your friend Austin if he can find however to do that, then maybe he can join. But we stick to our own here.
Yeah. Get out of here, Austin. Scram.
Get out of here.
Scram.
The broadcast has now officially started, Casey. I'm looking at the Louvre and the stupid ass pyramid. And now I'm looking at Accor Arena, which actually looks lovely. But I assume we'll have a little bit of vamp time as we wait for the first fighters to make the walk. Answer a couple of questions. We'll get into the predictions. So, UFC Paris, blood and urine. I mean, that could be the tale of the tape today. We'll see. I am excited to see post-fight interviews and see if every non-French fighter comes with the same thing. It's like, hey, this is nonsense. Then this is a story. If not, it's Brendan Allen saying stuff.
What do you think about Brendan Allen?
Wow, we are hopping right into this, Casey, because we are already about to have Balagiocchi into the cage. So my thoughts on Brendan Allen are he's a very good fighter. I don't entirely understand why he talks as much as he does, but more power to you. And so because of that, Casey, I did not realize we were going to fire right into this. We're going to get into our picks as both men are in the cage right now. For the what do we do main card then thing, right?
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember how these
main
go.
Card.
Yeah.
Card.
So the opening main card fight, Faraz Siam taking on Matt Favola in a lightweight contest. I'll start us off here, Casey. I am banking on Matt Favola to keep doing Matt Favola things. I could absolutely see him lose this fight, but he has won or lost fights in the first round in the last 5 bouts. I think he's going to come out and kill or be killed. And in this particular instance, I think he is going to be the one doing the getting, and he gets a first-round knockout of Faraz Siam.
You are a smart man. I also have Favola first-round knockout.
I love it. Let's keep this energy as we move on to arguably the most popular person in the arena tonight or today. Morgan Charrier taking on Gabriel Miranda in a featherweight contest. Casey, why don't you lead us off?
I am going. Ooh, Gabriel Miranda's got a nice little mustache, though.
It's got terrific stash.
But it's not going to be enough. The Pirate, Morgan Charrier, with a unanimous decision.
Wow, and he's not the Pirate, he's the last Pirate. And I also have him with a unanimous decision. Miranda is a very durable guy, but I think this is a setup fight for Charrier to look good. Moving on, Kevin Jousset taking on Brian Battle in Jose Young's fight of the night. This maybe actually not fight of the night, but the fight he's the most anticipating other than the main and the co-main. Welterweight contest, and I will lead us off and just say I'm taking Brian Battle. I think he has looked very good lately and exceeded my expectations, and I picked against him a couple of times and felt stupid afterwards. And I just still don't quite know what to make of Jousset, so I've got Brian Battle with a second-round TKO.
I consistently underestimate Brian Battle, but he is short on blood and urine tonight, so he will lose to Kevin Jousset.
I mean, UFC Paris, blood and urine. That takes us into the feature fight of the evening. Featherweight contest, William Gomis taking on Joe Anderson Brito. I'm probably not the most reliable narrator in this instance. Brito is on my fantasy MMA team. I love him. I think that he is every bit as good as Diego Lopez and simply hasn't had quite the same opportunities as Lopez has for one reason or another. This is a guy I think is a top 10 featherweight in the world and has been rolling through people. I think he continues to have a first-round KO, even though I respect William Gomis a lot.
Everything you said, Brito, second-round KO.
And that takes us to the co-main event. Nasruddin Imavov, Brendan Allen, a middleweight contest. And Imavov obviously has a massive advantage in the blood and urine department. But Casey, is that enough to get him the win?
Absolutely. I am an Imavov mark. He is my Jake Matthews. I believe in him. He will do it. And so I'm picking Imavov by, I don't want to say lackluster decision, but he'll win it. But no fight at night, no performance awards.
Versus an Imavov decision. We all know what you mean. I'm going the other way. I like Brendan Allen's chances. Now he's even extra fiery because because the world is against him. The nation of France is trying to keep him down, and he's gonna use that chip on his shoulder and power himself up. I think he's got a big advantage on the ground, and I think he will be able to get it there because he got Chris Curtis down, and Chris Curtis is very good at defending takedowns. So I'm going second round submission for Brendan Allen because the man is a finisher more often than not. And our main event as Balaji takes down Chris Duncan in the opening fight of the evening, but Chris Duncan was briefly working on a guillotine that failed. Renato Moicano taking on Benoit Saint-Denis, 155, 5 rounds, 5 minutes each. Casey, who is leaving as the king of UFC Paris?
Moicano, submission. Ooh. Round 4, baby. Round 4.
Saucy. So I also agree it's round 4, but I'm going Benoit Saint-Denis via TKO. I would not be shocked if Moicano wins, and I am very interested to see how this fight goes if Benoit can't get an early finish. But I am banking on the idea that he is capable of fighting beyond 3 rounds, basically.
Yeah.
And
I buy the staph infection. I know you were kind of like, you know, people. I'm not doubting that he went into a fight very compromised, but Moicano will have to take a couple concussions to eventually get that rear naked choke. But it will be a hard fought win, and I expect actually this to be fight of the night.
I am to some extent buying the staph infection. I don't entirely know. Realistically, Chris Duncan working on a guillotine with the closed guard here. Maybe looks like it's not all the way here yet, but we'll see. Yeah, Oki is working here, but that's under, and his head seems a little locked in. We're going to stick with this in live commentaries. Oki is it deep? I mean, Oki's almost out, but it's still working. The head's just locked in, and now it's out. All right. It got deep for a minute, but he could never get up and get the lat engagement. So oh no, he went out. How did that happen? Because he gave up one hand on it. I stopped watching because Chris Duncan pulled his right arm out. I was like, okay. And
was it arm in or?
No, it's an arm went in. So I guess he could have. I got to see it, but I mean, Oki is clearly unconscious. So sick. I just Joe Rogan the hell out of that. That was awesome. It's tough. You
did a reverse Joe Rogan.
Oh, he's tough to do this and this. We'll figure out what happened. Hey. But yeah, I'm taking Benoit Saint-Denis because I think he is going to win. I think it gets into deep waters, and Moicano has been hurt before on the feet, and Saint-Denis has packed some power. So
he does.
I'm watching this now, Casey. We're watching the replay of him getting the guillotine, and he's grimacing through this, and I just want to see what happens with the hand here. Oh, he pulled his arm out because Oki was.
Oh, he let go because he was out already.
No, not really, because then he punched him. It's a very weird finish because Oki is out when he pulls his arm out, but then Duncan just starts hitting him and then looks to the ref as like he's unconscious. I have no idea what the hell's happening. That was wild as shit. But that's it because the fights are on and we've actually finished the whole first one and we've got things to do. But Casey, cue the music. Let's get the hell out of here. UFC Paris, it's on right now. Apparently, there's also PFL that's on right now. It's on DAZN. You can check that out as well. Mostly, you can check out MMAfighting.com. It's a terrific website. We're going to have you updated with all the things happening on this fight card. And we're going to have a post show right here. Still not entirely sure when this is going to end. Probably around like 7-ish. Will be the post show's aimed at, maybe 6:30. It's going live right after the fight card. So tune in. Let's have some fun. Enjoy the fights. We'll see y'all in a couple hours. Love you. How's that pistachio croissant? C'est magnifique.
Yes, that's the word.
Nice. Bye, guys.